আমরা যারা যারা বিদেশে বাস করি, তারা কেউ পড়াশোনা করতে, কেউ চাকরি বা কেউ ব্যবসা করতে, আমরা এভাবে নিজেদের উন্নতি করার চেষ্টা করি। কিন্তু আমরা সবাই সবসময় চেষ্টা করি নিজের দেশকে তুলে ধরতে, চেষ্টা করি দেশের মর্যাদা বাড়াতে। প্রতি মুহূর্তে আমাদের দেশের কথা মনে পড়ে, নিজ নিজ দেশের প্রতি ভালোবাসা যে কত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা আমরা খুব ভালো করে বেশ অনুভব করি। আহ, বিদেশে আহ, বসবাস করি বাংলাদেশে নিয়ে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান প্রবাসী বাংলাদেশ। সবাইকে স্বাগতম এই অনুষ্ঠানে। আম, আজকে আমাদের অতিথি হয়ে এসেছে তাজবি ফরিদ। তাজবি, thank you for joining us. Um, and Tasbi has been living outside of Bangladesh from a very young age. Um, if you want to like talk about that a little bit, like how your experience has been, just like moving away out of Bangladesh. What age did you move? Where did you live? And what your experiences have been so far as a Bangladeshi living abroad.
Um, so basically, I moved from Bangladesh to Ireland when I was about 4 years old. So I was really young. Can't really remember much about how I felt and how that move was. But looking back, I think it's been quite a journey. I've been studying and living in Ireland for as long as I can remember. Went to primary school and secondary school here, high school. And then after that, I decided to go and study at England, computer science in England. So I decided to move there. And I've been living in England for like the past 5 years.
Okay, so you said did your undergrads in England, or I know that you finished your grad program too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, you're right. So I did my undergrads in computer science, and then I decided to do my master's as well in advanced computer science in the same university, University of England, Essex, which is located in Essex. And yeah, so I did all that in England. So for the past 5 years, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, wonderful. And how's like if you just want to talk about your academic journey a little bit, like how has that been? Did you enjoy computer science? Are you looking forward to starting a career with computer science as well?
So when I first entered computer science, I had no experience in it because in Ireland you don't really get to learn programming and things like that. But I always had interest in computers. Like from a young age, I really enjoyed just using a computer. Like it fascinated me, and I used to like wonder what would it be like? How are these softwares made? How's like I used to question it, and from there, I got this kind of, you can say, passion to study and get to know more about it. So when I entered my undergrad in computer science, I learned the fundamentals of programming. I learned the basics of it, and then I went on to in second year we got to choose modules uh, that we are most interested in. So I've always been interested in software development and programming. I enjoyed that aspect of computer science the most. So I did projects and things like that on that. And then I developed another passion for research. So that's what led me to study masters in advanced computer science. So the overall journey, I think, was like building knowledge on top of each other and then, yeah, learning a broad range of topics.
Okay, all right, awesome. Let's talk about the differences about Ireland and UK
Yeah.
in your opinion.
So, in my opinion, like, I don't think there's much difference between Ireland and England in terms of country. For me, the biggest difference of moving to England was in Ireland, I was living with my family for years and years. So, the main difference for me was going to another country and living by myself and experiencing independent life and having like my own personal problems with that. Like I didn't know how to cook and then trying to teach myself how to cook And going from cooking noodles at university halls to now learning how to make chicken curry, like that itself was a really interesting journey in itself. So that would be my main difference between Ireland and England.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's so relatable for someone that has lived abroad from such a young age. Because a similar thing happened to me when I moved to the United States. I was just like, all right, that's fine. I'm moving to the United States. I'm gonna be eating burgers and pizzas all the time, and like I'll be fine. I don't need Bengali food. It took me a month, so I was like craving pot so much. And it was just out of necessity that I ended up learning how to cook, and now I actually really enjoy cooking, which is great. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of how far I've come when it comes to my culinary skills. But yeah, I think it's something that a lot of students, especially living by themselves, eventually have to learn. So talk to me about your experience as Bengali, like a Bengali Ireland. I'm assuming you're a citizen of Ireland as well.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so as a Bengali Irish person, would you say your experience has been any different from, a native-born Irish person?
Um, to be honest, not really, because growing up, I've always like I went to a Catholic school, so I've always been around friends with non-Bengalis. So in terms of that, not really, but culturally, because my parents are Bengalis and so am I. So culturally, I think, yeah, there is a bit difference between that, I would say.
Okay, and like, are you guys part of any Bengali community in Ireland at all?
I mean, yeah, we have people that we know living in the same town. We have get-togethers and things like that. So we are, and I have few friends who are Bengalis as well. So yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Um, let's talk about where you see your future headed. Like, are you planning on living in the UK? Are you planning on living in Ireland or anywhere else in the world? What do you think?
So currently I'm working in England. So for some time, I think I'll be there. And it's really nice to, as a graduate, to start working and just experiencing from like going from student to now like working. So experiencing that aspect of life is really nice. So I'm just enjoying that at the moment. And I do have plans to do, because I said I love research, I do have plans to do PhD in the future pretty soon. So I'm working towards that as well.
Awesome. And outside of education,
Mhm.
what other kind of things are you into? Do you have any hobbies? How do you spend your spare time?
So currently, because of lockdown, it's quite difficult to like do anything. But I think I really enjoy spending time with my friends. Made pretty strong friendship at university, and like spending time with them. I like working out. I like traveling. So that's something in my bucket list. I would love to travel more in the coming years. I would love to go to America, to be honest. And yeah. So that's what I like to do.
What's your number one travel destination?
For now, I think Canada. I would love to go to Canada and America. And yeah, these are like two places I would really love to go.
Nice. Yeah, wonderful. So let's talk about COVID, right? Now,
Yeah.
I'm assuming COVID hit right when you were completing your master's.
hmm
Um, let's talk about how that affected your academics, your day to day, just the way you do things in general. Just let's talk about how it affected Ireland and how it affected um, uh, the UK as a whole. Um, so for you, what has that experience been like?
So last year when we had the first lockdown, I was in Ireland and it was very different because everything suddenly got shifted online, and I was doing my master's at the time, and that was very difficult because I had to do my exams from Ireland, from home. So it was really difficult for me because usually exams in my degree are very like it's theory, a lot of theory. So for me, it was difficult in terms of it's not something that can be Googled. People are like, oh, you get to do it from home, so you must get to cheat and stuff. But no, it's like you need to know stuff. You need to have the general knowledge for it. So in terms of that, it was really difficult. And on top of that, I think our exams were marked quite harsh. So it's like everybody's expectation. Everybody thought they're going to get 90s and 100s, but it was like lower than we thought. So that was difficult. And then going from exams to now doing my dissertation, my master's dissertation from home. That was quite difficult too, because my master's dissertation was to do with robotics, and I needed access to the labs to work with the robots, and I couldn't do that. So that also had to be changed, and it was just quite difficult in terms of that. And then going into work and not getting to experience, physically going into work and meeting people, having that face-to-face interaction. That's something I miss still, but I think we've managed it quite all right. Like, I'm grateful that I have a job that I can do work from home, and that's really like nice to have, but I also miss the social aspect of it as well.
Yeah, no, certainly. Um, how do you think the UK dealt with coronavirus? Because at first, one of the epicenters of the pandemic was in the UK. Um, how do you think they handled it, and how are they dealing with it right now?
So initially, I think for everybody, not just UK, it was like a big shock. Everyone panicked. Nobody knew what to do. So it was difficult at first. And then after that, I think some of the choices they made were a bit like I wasn't really agreeing with that. Like like we thought there should be a lockdown, but they kept delaying it. And then they put a lockdown, but it was like for a month and it didn't really affect anything. So it was like pointless to have a lockdown when there was not one required. So I think it's a learning curve for the UK as well. So I think they could have done some things better, but right now we just came out of a 3 months lockdown, which was really good and much needed because now the cases are lower, way lower than before, like a couple of months ago. So right now, I think they're all right. They're handling it quite well.
That's good. No, good to hear. And cases are going down in general all over the UK, and same with Ireland, I'm assuming.
Yeah, cases are going down, and also the vaccines are rolling out quite quick in UK, and that's helping them a lot. In Ireland, it's slow, but they're doing their best and they're rolling it out quick as well.
Mhm. How are people reacting to the prospect of the vaccines? Because I know in certain parts of the world, we have anti-vaxxers that are definitely against getting vaccines. Just like, oh, I don't want these 5G chips inside me. The government's tracking me with this stuff. I definitely hear that kind of stuff here in the United States. Um, are people like generally positive about the vaccines, or how are they dealing with
I think in Ireland and UK, people are looking forward to getting vaccines. So there's a lot of like people that are like calling up their doctors and asking them when can we get our vaccines and stuff. But I also heard in Bangladesh, there's people who are like, we don't want anything like that inside our body, and it might cause more damage and things like that. So for me, I would just like to tell them to, encourage people to take their vaccines and get uh, better. So yeah,
it? All right, awesome. Well, Sasbi, one more time, thank you so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate you taking the time. I wish you the best for your future, and congratulations again on getting your master's. And hope we can get through this pandemic, and eventually meet up in person some point.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And it's like, it was really nice seeing you after so long. And I wish you all the best for everything. So good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you. সো সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য কিউরিয়াস টিভির সাপ্তাহিক আয়োজন প্রবাসে বাংলাদেশ অনুষ্ঠানে। আশা করি আপনারা কিউরিয়াস টিভির সাথে থাকবেন। দেখা হবে আগামী সপ্তাহে। ধন্যবাদ।